Morning everyone. Today's session's on creepy typography, and I'm going to go through what typography actually is, and then we'll get on, because obviously it's Halloween time, so we'll do some creepy texts using printables or your own designs as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing some very creative pieces of scary, creepy work today. So this is about typography today. Typography, like I said, is extremely important to me anyways, as my degree, what I studied was graphic design, and typography is one of the main components, the key concepts in graphic design, because if you think, typography is actually everywhere. It's on your reading books, it's on packaging, it's on advertising, films, it's absolutely everywhere. And people have made careers through creative typography. If you think of one of the most famous types is the Harry Potter typography, and obviously a designer created that. So it's really, really important. And this time of the year, you'll see Halloween posters all over the place, creepy stuff with blood and guts and all sorts. Sorry, I've just got a cat standing on things. So typography is basically styles of writing, it's fonts. And I'll go through the slides of the PowerPoint and the printables like I normally do. So what is typography? It's basically styles of lettering, styles of fonts. And you can have lots of difference. It has technical language, so technical vocabulary. There's serif, and there's sans serif, and serif is basically text that has little, I know that's back to front, but anyways, it has little flicks on it, so these little flicks here. And you also have sans serif. And sans serif doesn't have, and that sans is French for without, so without the flicks. So serif has the little flicks, sans serif is without. Then you've got decorative. Decorative writing is what we are going to do today. So the creepy style, being very creative with the typography. You've got graphic. So graphic and decorative are very similar to each other. And then you've got script, and script is basically joined up writing. So script is where everything's joined together. Right, this next slide is a couple of famous typographers. So we've got Matthew Carter. Matthew Carter is actually currently on the graphics GCSE paper, and you have to be able to research him. And he is an English typographer. And then you've got Carol Twombly, and she's I think she's Canadian. She's American. I think she might be Canadian. I might be wrong there. No, just American, because she was educated in Rhode Island, and that's, I believe Rhode Island's near New York. I might be wrong with my geography. I'm not a geography teacher. So typographer, visual effects and packaging play significant roles in product branding, and the job of a typographer is to create the typeface, and the graphical reflects the brand's true story. The layout of text, as well as its size, colour and associated font, compose an item's typeface. So these two people are very famous for creating specific styles of fonts. And if you look next to the photographs, that's the styles that they have actually created, and that's their jobs as well. Next slide is just a range of creepy fonts. Now I've taken these ones from a couple of websites that I like to use in my graphics lessons, where you can actually, it's got lots and lots of different fonts created by people, but you can type in your own word and the font will then be created in whatever word that you have typed in. So you could type in Halloween or whatever and then press enter and then the font will come up. Then what you can do, you can download it if you want to, but however if you download it, I do think you have to pay, or you could print screen and then crop it and then play around with it on Photoshop or use it as a title text. So say you're doing a creepy story, you could put the title of the creepy story in this website, change the font, print screen and then crop, and then you could have that as the title at the top of your page and then create your story or whatever you're creating, or PowerPoint, etc. Right, so this next slide has those websites on it. So there's 1001fonts.com and dafont.com as well. And like I said, you can just type in any word and it'll create the font, and then you can download it or print screen it, etc. Whatever you want to do with it. Or just have a look at what people have created and get some ideas for yourself. So the next two slides are these ones here. Sorry, it's back to front, but obviously the slides won't be on the video itself, they'll be the right way around. And these are examples of different creepy fonts that you can take off the internet, etc. You can print it out, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to use it to trace. So you can use each letter, you can mix them up as well. And that's on the next two slides, and it's also on the printables as well that I'll put on at the end. So today's task, this is what I want you to do. You can create your own creepy font or use the examples of printables to help you. Use your name or a creepy word like Halloween and create each letter in a similar style to start with. And then what you can do is the next task, you can create the same word using a different style for each letter. So you could take some from this alphabet and then some from that one or another one. It's up to you, or create your own. I want to say a bit of creativity as well. And then, like it says on the slide, be creepy and creative. And then if you want to do the extension task, experiment with colour and textures. So try and make, if you've got like goo dripping down, try and make it look gooey with colours, with the greens. Try and use some tone like we've done before, where you go from light to dark to make it look nice and gooey and drippy and creepy and horrible. Right, the next few slides that are coming up are the printables that you can use, so I'll send them out as well with the video. Right, so like I said, I'm going to use some of the printables to trace to start off with. But I want to show you, and I've also got a little handy light box. You can get these off Amazon. They're not that expensive and they're quite good for using to help you to trace. Don't have to use a light box, just you can put it up against a window. Windows are very good for tracing because you've got the light shining through. Or just have your paper underneath something white, and then you can see it quite clearly through on there. If you are tracing, that's entirely up to you. What I want to show you first, I'm just going to move that out of the way because it's quite bright, is construction lines. Construction lines are really important again in design. Construction lines are light lines, and designers use them all of the time because they're there to help you. That's why they're called construction lines. They're there to help you, to give you a guide. If you're doing things like orthographic drawing, you will always use construction lines to help you to create the drawing. If you decide to become an architect or anything in the future, you will definitely use lots and lots of construction lines, or a product designer. I'm going to use one of these, and I'm going to have my text going down the slant. You could use a compass and have your text going around a curve, or you can use just a normal ruler and have your text going straight. So I'm going to have my text going slanty, and a construction line is a very, very light line. So you can just see it. Because what you will do, you probably can't even see that, it's very, very light. Construction line is not like that. That is way too dark. Obviously I've used a pen. You will never use a pen for a construction line, because a construction line you rub out at the end. So it's a very, very light, fine, fine line. So I've got my construction line there. So I'm going to go slant for my text. So when I'm tracing, I'll have to put the letter on the slant as well, just to make it a bit more difficult. And then I can trace through, and I'm just going to do my name. So I've done the C, and then I'll do the A. Again, just resting on my construction line. And I'm just using the same alphabet of fonts here. And the R, where's R? Bottom there. You can do it lightly or you can press down hard, it's up to you how confident you are. Obviously the harder you press down, the harder it is to rub out. And always, always use a pencil to draw, don't draw with pen. L, 2 more letters. And then another A. So these letters look like acid or goo or something's been dropped on them or oozing out of them. And there we go. As you can see, it's on that slant. Can you just see the construction line? Again, the construction line's really, really light. So I've used that alphabet and I've created my name. I can then add colour, maybe using felt tips this week. So it's up to you. I'm going to go for green goo with felt tips. Maybe I should have done a bit of a lighter green. I think this one's a bit too dark for goo. So maybe test your colours. And on here, they've used orange, purple and black for the letters. So I think I'm going to go purple, dark purple, not light purple because that'll be too pinky. And I'm going to miss out a letter. Oh, I didn't miss out a letter there. Silly, I've messed that up. Silly me. I'm going to go for an orange. Oh, it's a bit. Oh, that orange is that's not the best pen. Looks like it's not working very well, that one. There's an orange there. So I was going to do every other letter, but as you can see I went straight from the R to the L. There's a bit of gooey text. And then what I can do, I can either get a black pen, and I'm too sure if this black pen's working. That Sharpie's brand new and it's run out already. I'm not impressed with that. And then I can go around the do, and you put little layers in, go around the letter. And make it stand out a bit more. And there we go. You could, I quite like this one. I know it's where it's different monsters. Quite like the monster ones. I think there's another one on the printables with yeah, there is. There's this one here with different monsters for the letters as well. I quite like them. I think they're quite very creative. I like this one as well. It's very different tombstones and all sorts all over, and then you've got some little patterns on the side there, and then we've got some with cobwebs, skulls, a little bit of ghosts as well, and then finally at the end we've got the word trick or treat. So you could actually do a bit of a Halloween window display by writing trick or treat. So I'm going to go for, I'm not going to trace this time. I'm going to use a pencil first though, because I don't like going straight on with. I'm going to do a big, wobbly, creepy T. It's going to have spider web coming out. Spider webs, just draw the lines coming out first, and then you draw the linking loops. So if you ever drawn Spider-Man, draw these lines coming out first, and then you do these loop parts to attach to each of the lines. And I have drawn a lot of Spider-Man, and it does take practice. And then I think we'll have the spider hanging down from this side. And the spider has 8 legs, 4 on each side. Some little nippers on there. And here's my T. And then I could see if this Sharpie's working. Yes, it is. Colour the T in, or maybe just go around it. And then add colour. And then you can rub out your pencil from behind. So again, this is a bit like construction lines as well. Construction lines you always rub out. They're just there as a guide to help you. You can also use construction lines for lower and uppercase. So what I can do now, so I've got my T. What I can do now, I can get my ruler, draw straight lines. So I've got a capital T. So I'm going to go for my capital at the top there. I'm going to go lowercase, so I'm going to draw a construction line in the middle. So if you can see them? Yeah, you can just see them. I've got a line there at the top, a line in the middle, and a line at the bottom. And then that'll keep my text all nice and straight. So I'm going to, for the R, the trick, I'm going to go for this one here, one with an eyeball. So again, using a pencil, I'm going to have it lower. It's going to be a capital R, but it's going to be smaller than the T. Now goo coming out of the eyeball. Part of it. And now I'll go over with my pen. So there's my R. And then for the I, do something a little bit different. I'll do lowercase as well for the I. So I'm gonna do this I here. Again, lowercase, using my construction lines. And then I'm just gonna go straight onto the C. So I'll do a skull for a C. Again, lowercase. Some skull teeth in. I'm going to add teeth. There we go. And then I'm going to do an uppercase K. So I might do a ghost for the K. Let's have a look at that one. What does the K look like? Oh, that looks quite good. And then, so I've got them there, so I've used my construction lines for my uppercase and my lowercase, and then I'll quickly go over and you can see what it looks like. I really like the K, it looks quite menacing, very creepy and ghoulish. Doesn't really look like a ghost, it looks like something very creepy. I'm just going to put a bit of a shadow on that eye. And there we go. So I've got my T, my trick. Very creepy, and then I can colour them in. But again, I've used, and I can just rub out, you can barely see them, but they are there. I can rub out those construction lines as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing everyone's really creepy creative work. You can use these if you want to, or you can have them on the screen, or like I was doing, because obviously I haven't traced them, because that's a lot bigger than what they are, so I've used that as a guide to create my work, or you can just make up your own. Be really creative with your typography, and I look forward to seeing everyone's work. So well done, and just send me your work and I'll look forward to seeing it and having a look at it. And if you want to do like this window display and you want to put your work up, excellent. Again, remember you can use your window to trace as well. So thank you everyone, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.